develop the institutions that it take to carry us on through this. This is now you got to remember now, this is different than the institution buildings from before. Each time we went through a certain stage, we were in the process of institution building. But that was on the level, right, that was correct for that stage. Okay, now, where we are now, we're not starting from scratch. We're not starting from scratch, right? What we're talking about is not a dream or way off. This is stuff that we're actually dealing with right now. This is things that we're actually dealing with right this minute. So therefore, we can easily visualize the evolution, just remembering that all the way along, if this is phase 3 of As-Sabiqun, this is only stage 1 inside of the third step. This is just phase, we just put it, it's all easy to put together. It's already here. But that world-class movement, world-class institution building, what we're doing right now or what we'll be doing in the next few months, by the time the year is out, we won't even recognize that level in 2-3 years. We won't even recognize it because the necessity to deal with the environmental changes that are going on right now, we got a big job to do. But we're not going to sacrifice quality for rush. Like, for instance, the speed that things are happening right now. We should keep up with that or actually be out in front of it. So far, we're not doing too bad. That we're up with the society and I would say we're out there, we're prepared for anything to come. But we're not going to sacrifice those things. The type of institutions we would build for, let's call it being in a rush. Nor are we going to fight the last 2 wars, war before last. War before last was visible counterintelligence program in the black movement. That's war, 2 wars back. If you take the party or any of the other black groups, they were not prepared for the onrush. The Black Panther Party started in Oakland. Within a year, it had chapters all over America. Boom! You can't control that. They didn't know who was in there. Half the people that was leading that was the police. The COINTEL program will tell you that almost everybody in the party. That's why people try to say, yeah, I was in the party. To me, they said, well, you was the police. To other people, it's a badge of honor. I was in the Black Panther Party. When they said it to me, I said, oh, okay, fine. Not that they have to be, but it's just 90% of the people was. Why? Because things that grow that fast, that's an explosion. You can't manage that fast. Okay, this is the crux of the matter. We have to develop a movement from what's needed. College of Islamic Movement Studies. But that has to be accelerated. Strategic management under conditions of repression. That should be accelerated. but we're not going to sacrifice accelerated teaching and accelerated education because we have to keep up with the speed, what we perceive as the speed of changes inside the society. Let me go back over that again. Society is changing very fast. And technically, it's not changing. So we have to develop our movement to where it covers that. But we don't sacrifice inequality because we have to teach and train the people. Why? Because nobody is teaching and training them. That's why Black Lives Matter don't count, because it just don't count. And that's the thing that we have to watch. People is, remember I told you the brothers came from Iran a few months ago, and they were trying to get, we were saying what we thought right there. And they wanted it to be, oh, all of those beautiful people, white people, are out and I see on their faces. I said, I don't see nothing on their face. I said, they're going to walk around in a circle, and they're going to go back home, and they're going to be nothing from that Black Lives Matter. And that's what I told, that's what we said here. They ain't going, we already go there. We see that nothing can come out of it. There's nothing can come out of it because ain't nothing going in. And they're looking at all of those numbers of people. Well, we have to do what we have to do, but we have to have not some security, but we have to secure our structure enough to where we're not afraid to move forward, right? We're moving forward. But we're not going to relinquish that in our growth, that we're just going to go along with accelerated growth and not control of what we're doing, but as a part of what we have to do. If you have a business, you have to control it. You have to manage it. Let's use the word management over control. Nobody's even talking about what we're doing. Therefore, we have to manage what we have. We have to manage what we have because boss man is busy. And therefore, we have to move forward while we, at the same time, are not overcautious. We're going to go forward. We're going forward. That's what we're doing. But we're not going to build, I'll put it this way. In the last stage, we knew what we were doing, strategic management under conditions of repression. Okay. We knew that what they thought of me was, we're going to make him a figurehead. Right? So we're going to fill the Masjid in Oakland. We're going to have them running up and down the coast all over the country, and we're going to fill up the two institutions we had in LA, and in Irvine, and in other places, just unlimited people. All of them college educated, right? And all of them doing what they would do if they was up. They was doing one thing that we knew that they was doing. They was agitating the Zionists and giving the Zionists reason to say we got to keep an eye on these colleges. And they were given, that's what Irvine was doing. Okay, so we knew what they was dealing with us. So when they woke up to, no, we're not putting up with that. That's when everybody pulled back. How could all of those people go? Everybody gone. You could tell it was so visible that it was ridiculous. But we have to use that for our benefit. And then we kept on using it up until almost today. So we would harass them. When Abdul Malik left 2008, his letter of resignation, we said, well, we had them get all of this property for us and then they're gone. That's not true. Every bit of property, you notice we went to Oakland. When we went to Oakland, we took money from here every time. If we bought the school, if they raised, what we did about Oakland, when they got on our accounts, they could see that we had a certain amount of money. And they asked me if they could use that for the school. I said, absolutely not. So you get your own money. So they had a fundraiser. They raised a nice piece of money. Then the next bit, which was about $51,000, I put that with what they'd already raised to buy the school out there. You see what I mean? The other stuff, all that big piece of property, which was across the street, that was the same thing. When we have the fundraiser, we would take a cashier's check, say $35,000, and then we'd take something else out there. You know what I mean? And then we'd pay the taxes, right? And they let that building sit there for over 10 years, with hardly not even opening the doors. Can you imagine how rotten things got in 10 years if you don't? Unbelievable. And they used the yard as a junkyard. All the brothers that drove cabs, they would just drive them into that big yard, 8,000 square feet, and boom, that ain't me. And the city would write us a thing. Anyway, the way we put it with them was, hey, we used y'all by getting y'all to run around and make us famous and raise us. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. But if you notice, that's why, what's the name, sold the property, and Brother Mukhtar, he said about Abdul Malik, he said Abdul Malik was a punk. He quit too soon. And maybe they think I'm stupid and I don't know what they're talking about. But that's why we just wear them down. They're not wearing us down, we're wearing them down. They've been trying to get this thing over with for years. Can you imagine? This is the 7th or 8th year of this. So how many people can stand that long for one little thing that's going on? Kept bringing them back. They got to run off and come on back. Pretty soon, look at the people you're dealing with. The grand jury effect, we done told this story over and over again. So everybody know it, right? What's happening to them? They thought they just gonna walk in and with a camera and say, Imam Musa, you are this or you are that. They was thinking maybe I was one of our other imams, that I would get mad. And this nigga was a gangster before, and you keep scratching him, he's gonna go back to that. We told everybody, stand down, stand back, all right? And we tell them the same thing. That's why we postponed any program the other week. Just to give you an example. When they shot the last group of people last week, brother was shot that had a little psycho problem in Philadelphia, and the other one shot, and there's so many people. So we come up with an idea about how to deal with all of those things. That idea was contrary to nonviolent resistance and alternative resistance. So we had to wait. That means you're exercising self-control. You have to wait. And we wait on ourselves. We delay ourselves. And it's not new. We've been doing that so long. So the thing is, we understood what we've been doing and the cycles that we've been in for a long time, almost since day one. But we really started making headway, say around 86. Around 86. And by the time we came here 3 years later, we came here for a reason. We said we came here to call it, get the game, you know, the final lessons on the Islamic movement in America. And we got it. We got it. Boss Man did almost, Boss Man had a field day. But we're still here. And everything that has happened to us is to put us in the process of evolution, not revolution. Evolution, that we evolve step by step, stage by stage. That's what the Brother Tufel Command Center is. It's about our assignment during this period is the same as our assignment in 2007, 8, and 9, except it's on a different level. Institution building. Because organization, institution, and all of those things are things that society and structure is made out of. That's what we used to refer to the organization. That as long as one of us was alive, maybe the other brothers didn't feel like that, but as long as one of the top leadership was alive, we could reproduce that organization. Yeah, and as you grow and develop, that ability comes along with it. I know when I first used to travel, I was kind of young, but I had a few pictures with me. And when I was anywhere, I would show the people some of the pictures. That this, what you're looking at, is not me. This is me right here, with the big pretty cars, because they see you black, and they see, you know what I mean, that, and I would dress like a common person. So I said, this is me. And I'd show them the pictures with all them furry details. I'm somebody. I'm Big Hank. You know what I mean? Because remember now, this is years ago. Ain't nobody think a Negro is nothing, basically. You know, and they see you. What you see is what you get, and they think that's where you at. And it took me a few years to evolve out of that. When I started really evolving in the business, I settled down because the business, I didn't care what people thought. In fact, I reverted because of all the white folks, them white folks down there. They had their picture of, did I ever tell you about the white boy that, in our organization, I was the leader, technically. And others were Jews and others from Canada. Of course, they was police. But I knew they was the police. So it's no problem. You know, anytime a Negro, I'm walking down the street and a Negro pop up next to me from Philadelphia somewhere saying, yeah, I can do this and I can do that. And I have friends that they're such and such, they own a nightclub and they do this. They white boys from Canada. So I said, sure. So even in those days, I'd play along with the program. But everybody thought the white boys was running things. We was going through the little process, and the white boy, the other, not white people, but the other Colombians would say, what's happening with the Nietzsche? Talk about me. So the white boy would be looking at the thing, he said, cuidado, él es muy inteligente. Be careful, this guy is very intelligent. You know, of course, they didn't think I spoke Spanish. Still don't, you know, but I knew what he was saying. Be careful, cuidado, this guy here is muy inteligente. So, one day or one night, we at the spot, and they used all their connections for fun and parties and what have you. And I had all the connections up in the U.S. I said, okay, the party is over. We're going to use this for something real. And that's when it started. And it went through its changes. But guess what? When anybody would come to the house, I would be standing there. I may snatch me a broom, have a pair of overalls on, real overalls, kind they used to wear back in the country. Yeah, I'd have them. Of course, I'd have some snake skins or alligators to go with them, and a mink hat. It is just ridiculous what a nigga would look like down there. But anyway, everybody would feel comfortable. A white boy told me from Florida, had white shoes on, like he was in a movie or something. Well, you know, every time I mess with spades, I get burnt. Spades, me and you. Now, I was looking out for him. I made sure that the white boys couldn't burn nobody. Because if they got hold to anything, they was gonna, whatever type of agents they was gonna fluff it up and get a little extra out of it for themselves and get arrested, the white man, you know. So they was those kind of agents. So they was always up to something. So I didn't play none of that. I didn't play it here and I didn't play it there. So I was looking out for the white boy. He didn't know it. He didn't know that I'm taking care of this. You can run it through them. And I couldn't tell him, them guys there, they'll cut your throat every time they get a chance. But he was saying, you know, the spades. And it's true, every time you mess with Negroes in those days or every other time, you know, they're gonna, a white